In my family, I am the oldest, I am the youngest, and I am the middle child. How? I am an only child is what I tell others when I am asked whether I have siblings. Many react differently when I tell them about being the only one. Whenever you tell people you're an only child, they doubtfully look at you and say something judgmental and insulting, like, "Really? You don't seem like an only child." Or worse, "Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense." My observations and encounters with others have led me to believe that the perception associated with being an only child is negative. I commonly hear from my friends and others that I am lucky, since everything belongs to me. Please explain what this even means. About 100 years ago, a child psychologist, G. Stanley Hall, described being an only child as a damaging experience. He credited this by saying that being an only child is a disease in itself. So are you saying that I'm a disease? This made no logical sense back then and continues to be an absurd statement to this very day. Growing up, I realized what the words only child meant to people in our society. Many are led to believe that only children are spoiled, selfish, and bratty, which suggests that being an only child is a stigma. Nothing could be farther from the truth. So let's talk about the common misconceptions about only children. We are not all spoiled. Sure, there are a few perks of being the only one your parents have to worry about. We may have our own room, and growing up receive all the attention, but that does not make us spoiled. From my experience, my parents realized from the beginning that regardless of the size of our family, I would learn to be grateful for what I am given. Rather than lavishing me with all I desire, they've taught me to value the importance of family ties over material possessions. Whether you're a single child or one of many, haven't you all weighed your parents down with your endless barrage of demands? Did they not eventually surrender to your wants? So I guess we're all spoiled. Why blame the only child? And yes, we are not all lonely. Did I have a lot of imaginary friends growing up? Seriously? I bet only children Elvis and Frank Sinatra would have something to say about that. Although I had no siblings, I had the love and support of my parents, cousins, and my close-knit extended family. Being an only child does not mean we are isolated. Instead, it encourages us to be around others. I stand on my own and make new friends, which makes me a stronger person. If it's anything, I treat the closest friends of mine like my own brothers and sisters. I'm only lonely if I choose to be. And yes, we are not all selfish. In the July 2010 issue of Time, Lauren Sandler wrote that since the early 60s, single-child families have almost doubled in number, to about 1 in 5. You'd think that this would have some effect on the stigma towards only children, but everybody still thinks that we're really self-conscious and self-obsessed. Growing up, all children are selfish, possessive, and believe the world revolves around them. Eventually, we all learn to be compassionate and generous individuals, at least most of us. What makes an only child different? Yes, my parents focused on providing for me solely. However, nothing was handed to me in a silver platter. My parents have told me, with hard work comes great rewards. I have learned to work towards my goals and express gratitude for what I have and accept what I don't. I genuinely care about the well-being of others. I am not selfish, but rather selfless. Only children are as empathetic, generous, independent, and as social as the rest of you. What bothers me the most is that all of these fallacious claims about only children have led to stereotyping. The qualities of someone are not reflective based on whether they have siblings or not. Children become who they are not because of the size of their family, but because of the love and values that bond a family together.